your first bout of the evening is scheduled for three-minute rounds. This and the 135-pound bantamweight division. This bout is proudly sponsored by Gallagher Real Estate. Visit mmghomes.com for more information. And your referee in charge of the action, Mr. Gary Eblin. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner to my left. He's wearing black with silver. He enters the cage 1-0 as an amateur. He's weighing in at 135.5 pounds and is representing CT United. Ladies and gentlemen, from Bethel, Connecticut, please welcome George Lischke. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner to my right. Also wearing black with silver, he weighed in tonight at 133.5 pounds. He enters the cage with a record of 1 victory and 1 defeat. Representing Ultimate MMA from North Haven, Connecticut, please welcome Justin Kristie.
All right, Ryan, you all set? Mike, are you good? Davey, you all set, right? Andrew, be smart, kid. Ready to fight, George? Josh, you ready to go? Fight!
All right, so we have George Lischke dropping down to 35. He fought at 45 against one of your partners. I wrestled with George in college. Great wrestler, great pace, good cardio, good chin. Very excited for this fight.
Yeah, he beat my teammate Rob Brown. He's fighting tonight against Justin Kristie out of the blue corner from Ultimate MMA in Connecticut. So looks like we got a clinch up against the cage. Lischke's a great wrestler. He's a bit of a wet blanket. Once he's on you, he's on you.
Yeah, that was his style in college. He always, once he got a hold of you, he loved scramble positions. He loved to stay tight. He was kind of like we called a blanket rider in college. Wouldn't kind of let you ever breathe, let you go.
Absolutely.
I didn't get to see his fight against your training partner, but was that kind of what he did against him?
Yeah, he had great control. He had good poise for his first fight. That was at 45. That was a weight class higher. He went out there and he controlled the action. He took him down and controlled the action on the ground.
You know, Lischke always kind of reminded me of the kid that when he talked about turning into MMA, I was kind of like, you know what, he might be a better fighter than he was a wrestler. And, you know, he went up to 45 and he won, so, you know, that might be the case.
I'd have to agree. He transitioned from wrestling to MMA pretty well. He's pressed against the cage right now. See, he's got an underhook on the left side.
Now, what do we know about Justin Kristie? Does he have a wrestling background?
He seems to have a wrestling background. He's got good clinch control. He's won one by sub, and I believe he's lost one by KO. But it was against a very tough opponent, Marvin Maldonado.
Yeah, Marvin doesn't turn down fights against anyone. That guy fights a lot of tough people.
He's very tough. George.
So far it looks like George is winning the clinch, but as I say that, he gets reversed and back into the cage.
Justin has a great clinch game himself.
Very powerful, too, he looks.
Strong hips, absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful outside trip.
Once George is on top of you, he's got great control. He's not moving.
You know, one thing I always look for, and I'm not knocking any wrestlers because I'm a wrestler as well, but I'm not a big fan of guys who take you down and don't work from top, so I'm hoping to see Lischke opening up and showing that not just a wrestler but a full MMA package.
I agree. In his second fight, I'm hoping that we'll see some nice guard passes and some heavy punches from the top.
For you folks at home, very nice hammer fist, but now he's in trouble with an arm bar. For you folks at home, you can't elbow, and that's a huge weapon to use in MMA. So we'll see what happens right here, though. He's stuck in a precarious situation. Short time, though.
He's in a bad spot, but he's got some great defense. He's throwing some hammer fists.
Looks like his elbow might have popped out, and he might be okay. Yep.
Great first round.
All right, so, I mean, from my opinion, it looked like we're going to have to – we used to call him Andrew in college, but we'll go with George. Looks like George won that round, in my opinion.
I'd agree with you. You got that late takedown and control from the top.
I would like to thank Warrior Nation for always putting on good fights. I'm excited to see what's happening tonight. There's usually, like, stellar matchups. It's very rare that you see someone coming out and completely dominate. So I'm expecting some good fights tonight. And looking at the card, we have some good people on here. People that I'm familiar with, I'm sure you're familiar with. So I'm pretty stoked to see what's going to happen tonight.
Yeah, definitely some young studs on this card here.
Yeah, young stud's a good way to put it. Just going down the list, we got Lischke, Justin Valentine with Richard Santiago is tough. He lost to one of my teammates, but an awesome fight. Rob Rios, Steve Carr, and then obviously the main events are awesome.
Oh, the main event, the co-main and the main are two great fights. I'm really looking forward to those.
Yeah,
Good. Second round, boys. Fight!
Both guys look fresh coming out from the second round.
Looking for another outside trip, I figured, yeah.
It looked like Justin had the better striking, but
Who's that?
Justin Kristie had the better striking.
Yeah, I would agree. I would have to agree. Lischke's got funky wrestling. He was one of the guys that you would always think you might have the advantage on, and somehow he would pull out some funky move. He really liked what we call funk and junk in college wrestling.
What I like from George here is when he does clinch, he uses his head very well. He presses into the opponent's chin, and it's almost like a steering wheel in MMA.
Good sprawl. I have to say, like you said, it's pretty clear that Justin's more comfortable standing.
Absolutely, and George is definitely more comfortable in the clinch where he seems to be very strong. He's got double underhooks here, it looks like. Nice knees from the clinch. He stays active, which is great.
Pummeling for control right now. George doing a good job of blocking the legs to stop the knees.
He keeps his hips very tight, too, which is very important in the clinch against the cage. Justin backs him off the cage and is looking to strike again.
Yeah, comfortable. Yeah, he's got nice striking, especially for an amateur.
Absolutely. He's got some strong kicks.
Ooh, nice right. Nice. Both of them exchanging right there.
Looks like George might have caught him with that right hand.
Yeah, you saw him wince a little. Ooh, again. Oh, nice.
In his fight, in his amateur debut, George showed a great chin and a pretty solid right hand.
Yeah, I know Rob hits pretty hard, and Rob's a scrappy dude.
Rob hits very hard.
Rob was cutting my hair, telling me about how he's fighting this guy. For everyone who wants a haircut, Rob Brown has pretty good cuts.
Uppercuts in Colchester.
Uppercuts in Colchester. But he was telling me how he's fighting this dude, blah, blah, blah. I had no idea he was fighting my college teammates. So when I looked online and I saw the results, I was shocked to see that. I didn't even know that Lischke was that close to fighting. I thought he still had a couple months out.
He actually took that fight on short notice, too.
Oh, okay. That makes sense now.
Shows his character. He's a game fighter.
Yeah, one cool thing about watching him in college, nice shot to the body, another one, was his growth and maturity. And as he finished his career in college, you could tell he was growing into a very seasoned athlete.
Absolutely. His striking looks improved just from his last fight, his debut. He's a very composed fighter. But Justin Kristie's no slouch. He's pretty composed in there, too. They're exchanging.
Nice. Nice whizzer.
Very nice whizzer. Those wrestling hips.
Yeah.
Great second round.
So who do you think we give that round to?
I think we go with George again.
I would have to agree.
He got the late takedown. I think he has a good concept of scoring points and how the rounds go, and he finishes strong.
Yeah, one of the things that I've been focusing a lot in high school wrestling, because I'm a coach at high school and when I was coaching college wrestling, and now fighting, is that IQ is so important to have good understanding of what the judges are looking for and how to accentuate those things. That way the judges see those things and score in your favor.
Absolutely. You couple that with listening to your corner and hearing the voices from the crowd, and it makes for a pretty strong fighter. Both of these athletes are pretty conditioned. They don't seem to be huffing and puffing too hard.
No, what I'm seeing is Justin seems to be getting stronger as the fight's going on.
This is the third and final round.
More comfortable.
Lischke in the red corner. Justin Kristie in the blue corner. Let's hear it for him.
George just gave you a nod of approval. I think he's ready to come out strong.
Well, we have a history together, man. Him and I have, bled together, sweat together. The collar. Oh, nice. He does have a good chin.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we said, Justin's more comfortable. He knows he's down 2 rounds right now, and he's got to finish.
Absolutely. He's coming strong. These guys are active in the clinch, too. They're not just holding on to each other. They're striking.
You know, and for the people at home who don't train, this kind of fight is exhausting.
Absolutely. The clinch looks like it's just 2 guys wrestling or hugging against the cage, but it's the most physically taxing part of MMA.
Oh, definitely. You are activating every muscle, your hip flexors, your quads, your hamstrings, your core.
And nothing really replicates the fight time kind of output that you're using when you're in the clinch.
No, you can train all you want, but
absolutely
different feeling when you're in there in the adrenaline dump.
George is throwing knees. He's pressed against the cage and still throwing. Justin's very strong in the clinch now. This 3rd round, he's looking strong.
A jockey for position, looking really good right here.
George reverses.
You know, if I'm Justin, I'm trying to break out of here and try to finish the fight. Oh, okay.
He blocked that lateral drop pretty well. He's very strong.
You know, something like that, in my opinion, is too risky of a move. You're up, you're winning. Why take a risk that might put you in a bad position?
I'd have to agree.
I would have stuck to a regular traditional double drop. Ooh, nice body shot.
Yeah, we could hear that.
Justin's in a little bit of a precarious situation here. Defending appropriately. He's going for a toe hold.
Nice sweep.
Now, George is defending appropriately.
There's a battle of leg locks going on.
He's safe now.
In amateur MMA, heel hooks are not allowed.
Oh, they're not?
No.
Okay. So with that scrambling ability we talked about earlier, here's George on top again. Good, yeah.
Both of these guys are pretty good size 135ers, and their conditioning seems great. This has been a really high-paced fight.
Yeah, you know, one thing I saw from George, looked over to his corner and listened exactly what they told him to do. He's very coachable, which is huge.
Absolutely. He's well beyond his years in MMA.
And then we got Justin, who's relentless, man. He's
fishing for a Kimura right now, looks like.
Now, right now, George is doing the right thing, trying to keep that arm straight, trying to protect himself. Short time. I think we're going to finish on top. We got some blood coming out of Justin's nose.
Looking for an armbar attempt here, but George has great stacking. It's a hammer fist.
Great fight. So I think it's very clear who won this fight tonight. A valiant effort by Justin, and he continued to fight the whole time, looking for finishes, but that wrestling prowess and pressure kind of won the fight.
Justin only takes tough fights, and it looked like he fought another tough opponent tonight in George. I think George is looking at some big things in his MMA career.
Yeah, you know, I'd like to see him maybe one more amateur fight, and then he could take on some pros.
Absolutely. If he had the opportunity to throw some elbows in that fight, it might have been a different story.
I agree 100%. I find it very frustrating for the amateurs, unfortunately, that they can't open up such an important part of MMA.
I agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I read the official scores, how about a nice round of applause once again for George Lischke and Justin Kristie. After 3 hard-fought rounds, we have a split decision. Judge at ringside, Dave Ginsburg, sees about 29-28. He has it for Kristie. Judge at ringside, Michael Maynard, sees about 29-28. He has it for Lischke. While Judge Brian Miner sees about 30-27 for your winner by split decision in the red corner, just George Lischke.